What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, coming in here today, making sure you can hear me well. Drop a one in the comments if you're excited to be here. This video is about how we have a tenant who hasn't paid rent in 20 months. And going on July 2021, it will be 21 months. The state of Michigan is broken, but it's not just the state of Michigan, it's also the state of California. But let's go straight to the common facts, right? You're like, oh, Erica, you're one of those investors just hopped in because the market's cheap. No, I have rentals in North Carolina. I've got one pending here in Texas. I have two rentals now in Cleveland. We've got over 7 in Detroit. In group. So some of these are by myself. Some of these are with partnerships. Some of these are with direct JVs with one other person. Some are with 5 people in a house, right? So we purchased the house for about $28,000. Super excited for the low price. Buyers just trying to get out of it. Cool, no problem. He has multiple other houses. We get a tenant that's already paying for $850 a month. Perfect, right? In Detroit, Michigan. And all of a sudden, October, we acquired the property maybe like August, September. All of a sudden, October 2019, she's not paying. November 2019, she's not paying. We get her in the court December because listen, Michigan courts are backed up. All right. So boom, we get her in the court December 2019. Guess what? She's not at court. Why? She's at work. So this is a grown woman with a full job at a hospital. Okay. She's not at work. And Michigan has been so for the people, the unions, the people, the liberal thinking. That they go, well, she was at work and we're not going to make people not go to work so they can go to court. What do you expect? Responsibility out of Michigan folks? So they say, she has a right to appeal and come back to court on a day she can make it. So that means October, no rent. November, no rent. December, no rent. Now they go, I'm thinking we're going to be back in court January. No, court's backed up. January, no rent. February, 5 months after, we get her into court. All right, February, it's the end of the month on February 2020. Yeah, baby. And they're like, ma'am, we're going to uphold the first ruling. You need to get out. Now, if you don't get out in a certain amount of time frame, guess what we're going to do? We're going to get the sheriff over there. And the sheriff is going to get you out. I'm out there like, yeah, baby. It's 5 months. Old girl still working, got a job. She got to get out of here. Guess what? March. We're calling, hey, we need you. We need to get the sheriff. When we go get the sheriff, she ain't left. We need the sheriff. Come on to the door. I need the sheriff, because you can't do it yourself. Other states have made it privatization where you could just hire a company and they can knock on the door and get her out. No, not Michigan. Not the beautiful state of Michigan that's decided to be left as California. Hey, that's the pandemic. We just got these orders down. We can't go to nobody's house because of the germs. What germs? Now, granted, if you guys watch this channel, you've seen me. I'm flying. I'm traveling. I'm shaking hands. I'm at conferences. I even had a birthday party, March 9th of my birthday. And we were all kind of nervous, like, the news a little crazy? Yeah, that's crazy. Friend Kendra Barnes, the key resource, who is very much like in the house. Hadn't seen her. Like after that day, I didn't see her for a year. Almost. And we live in Texas, an hour and 20 minutes from each other. Didn't see her for a year after the pandemic. Several people didn't see him of the pandemic. Couldn't go to their house, the pandemic. And this is March 2020, my birthday party. So then sheriff's office like, hey, we can't go because we busy anyway, but we can't go now because they told us we can't go. I'm thinking, no problem. You go in April, May, right? You know what I mean? April, May, June. Detroit is hit worse than anywhere else. Thousands of people die of COVID-related diseases. Even Asia Jensen, who was on this channel, who is a part of my team, she lost her mother in this. So I'm not making this as a joke video at all. I believe we had some type of super flu. I'm not certain what it was come through, and we calling it COVID because all the flu cases magically disappeared. So that's why I call it the super flu. I know people get angry with me on that, but I'll just be as respectful as possible. her mother, died during this process. A lot of people lost in Detroit, Michigan through this process. So for me, I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's see what we can do and work with this young lady, because it's dangerous out there in Detroit. Apparently, it's bad. Like, I'm not flying there. I'm not going there. Nobody really is going there. And I go, well, they start mentioning, this is when Trump was still in. Hey, we're gonna have rental assistance. No, that's even greater. Great. We go see if old girl applied for it. She did not. She has a full-time job this whole time. She's been working this whole time. So now we're in about what, August 2020. Because at this point I'm like, Marcus, baby, it's almost been a year now. She's still working a full-time job, still living in the house. And actually, every time there's a little push or change in like the rent, moratoriums, she calls around looking for other places to rent. Marcus even knows she called somebody else looking for a place to rent. And when I talk about Marcus, I talk about my property manager. And so I'm like, oh, girl got enough money to go rent somewhere else, but she won't pay this rent. We got to sue. We got to get her out. It's going on August. That means it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 months at that point. No rent. 11 months. August 2020. No rent. So now we go into September, October, November. It's Trump time. It's wow. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can talk to her and she can apply for rental assistance, because clearly she needs rental assistance. No, she won't apply for it. And to me, it's even crazier that Michigan put the onus on the tenant and not the property manager or the owner who can say, hey, I'm not getting anything. No, we're going to let the tenant decide if they want to apply for it. Yeah, because we're Michigan. Now, granted, Michigan has some other issues too. Michigan's on like super, super max lockdown. Okay. Contractors really ain't trying to go out and fix nothing. People ain't trying to fix nothing. Work's not being really completed. I mean, work on big projects are, but not other people's projects. Even to the extent of finally, and I think this was in December of 2020, after poor Trump lost, you know what I'm saying? Supposedly, to a man that was in a basement, however you want to look at that. They go, hey, guess what we gonna do? We gonna get y'all some rental assistance from the government, because Biden came in here, and we're gonna give y'all some rental assistance from the government level, so you don't have to worry about your tenant filling it out. Because how dare this rude woman who you've let live for 11 months at this point, by December it's 12, 13, 14, 15 months rent free in your house while she has a full-time job. We're going to take care of it. But guess what? You have to say you're not going to sue them for the back rent. I said, well, do they get out? Yes, they get out, and you don't sue them for the back rent. I said, wow, this is great. Like, y'all going to pay me? So again, let's do the math there. We at what? 15 months times, let's all do it together. 15 months times $850, okay, is $12,750. You're thinking they're going to give us $12,750. This is going to be great. Oh, they're not. They're going back and forth. January comes in, 2021. February comes in, 2021. March comes in. They finally go, we got you. Okay, Ericka. We processed it. It took us 90 days. Guess what we're going to give you? I said, what are y'all going to give us? Take a guess in the chat, y'all, what they're going to give us. Because at this point, okay, now we had 18 months. 18 months times 850. And again, we bought this place for like 28 grand. So we thinking we about to be paid off in 3 years. So 850 times 18 months is $15,300. How much do y'all think the government decided to give us for a tenant who hadn't paid all these months? Put it in the chat. There's 122 people here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Put it in the chat. How much do you think the government, after we were kind and patient and gave free housing for 18 months? Now, again, we went into this property, not just me. It's 5 other owners. We just all threw a little bit of money in. We like, hey, we're going to throw a little bit of money in this little property. We're going to throw some money in 3 years. This money going to be paid out. We good. Y'all going about your day. We ain't got to be worried about this no more. Do the math. We let her stay for 18 months rent free. had a court order since December 2020. And then the reinforced secondary court order, February 2020, she got to go. How much do y'all think the government said, you know what, Miss Williams, because of your pain and suffering, we going to pay y'all. We going to pay y'all right. We going to take good care of y'all. We going to make it right because the state of Michigan is out here willy-nilly deciding, Big Gretch with her glasses, because they love her. They love her up there, that she's protecting the people by not making nobody pay. I mean, if you think Atlanta's bad, wait till you go to Detroit. The scam on that city right there. Okay, the scamming level through the roof. Let me see some of the numbers y'all gave up in here. Okay. Y'all are saying, okay, some people are saying, because again, $15,000 now at this point. Some people are saying $2,000, $1,000, $3,000. Okay. Tim, no. Once you sign that agreement, you can't sue. Okay, so hold on. I just want to make that clear on the story now. Once we agree, because we're thinking the government's going to give us a big old fat check, and so we don't sue. All right, so $3,000. Some people saying $0. Some people saying $2,500. Honey, that's what I'm trying to understand. She's been working full time for the past 15 months. Did you get a new car? I mean, even if she got a new car, I'd be proud of her. But a lot of people in Detroit do leases, so they don't even own the cars. Okay. So keep on going. 7,000, 4,000. Infinite Dreams. That would be so lovely, wouldn't it? 5,500. Nada. 5,000. Some people are saying 5, 6. IOU. The government gave y'all another bill. A chicken sandwich. 2,500. 3 months rent. Okay, hold on. All right. Guess what? Guess how much they gave us? $4,700. Let me say that again. With the agreement not to sue her, because they know for the next 5 years, people going to be in the courts suing people. California even made a law. They were like, look, y'all can't sue the tenants this year. 2021, y'all not suing these tenants for this back rent. We got to get the economy back up. If y'all all suing these people, the court's going to be full. They gave us $4,700. Now, this is in March. Out of the $15,300 that was owed to us, they paid us $4,700. $4,700. So I'm thinking, okay, great. Y'all gonna go over there and go get old girl and get her on out? What's up? All right, we clear. We getting old girl out. I agree. Y'all gonna get old girl out? Y'all gonna get us out? You gonna get her out of there? The sheriff? Where the sheriff at? Oh, ma'am, we processing, from oldest to newest. And so you still got to go back to court to ask us again to come get her, because see, we processing oldest to newest. And see, you was December 2020. I mean, honestly, you was December 2019. And then you was again in February old. But see, there's other people ahead of you. How far are other people ahead of me? 2018? When? 4 years ago? So again, yes, 4,700. Oh no, honey, the property taxes were tacked on. So let's go ahead and say they gave us 4,700. Property taxes are close to 750. So really, they gave us $4,000. Yeah. Yep. So now you go, cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to writ. Let's go ahead and get old girl out. Did you, what we got to do to process, get her out? Oh, well, we still processing down here. We busy down here. So April 2021 goes by. May 2021 goes by. June 2021 goes by. July 2021. We call down there again. Sir, what do we have to do to get her out? Well, you still, we got to, Detroit, Michigan. What do we have to do to get old girl out? Because everybody else is gone back to work. There's construction going all over the place. Yes, she's still there. This makes it now 19, 20, 21. It'll make it July 1st. It will make it 21 months that the tenant has been in there working a full-time job. and not paid a dime. The system cannot work like this. Now, you may say, well, Ericka, but come on, but come on now, Ericka, I really feel like the city said, well, y'all pay cash for it, so whatever. Well, you'll get your money back. How? We can't sue the tenant now because we signed the paper that you guys promised to get her out, so we wouldn't sue her because she won't apply for rental assistance, and she pretty much gives us the bird and won't answer our phone calls. So I don't know how Detroit thinks they're going to run a city like this. But what happens is, and I'm going to just give it to you like this. I have a bunch of articles I was going to show y'all with this. What happens is people from other cities and states come and invest. New Yorkers, all these people. People from New York go, oh, I paid $30,000 for the house. So what if it takes the tenant a few months to pay? We'll just get another one. It doesn't matter if I own 7 rentals in Detroit. It doesn't matter if our LLC or multiple LLCs own multiple properties in Detroit. We should be considered as anybody else. We should be able to get that woman out of the house in a timely manner. There's no way on God's green earth that a person should be living rent-free in a property for almost 2 years. She is the definition textbook professional tenant who has a full-time job, who isn't struggling, who the light bill is paid. I mean, trust me, we would get a call if the lights was off. No, she's paying the light bill. She's paying the electrical. She's going to work. She's driving a nice car to work. How does Detroit think they will operate a city like this? And I'm just one of many. Right? Listen. Detroit is corrupt. It's corrupt. It's corrupt. Oh yeah, listen. That's what people are doing. And so for me, what do you want landlords to do? Because all of a sudden, what I notice happening, and this is just my personal observations, and also going over to Cleveland, as we were investing in Cleveland and getting Cleveland fixed, a bunch of money went over to Cleveland and went to Columbus, Ohio. If you don't believe me, go look up Columbus, Ohio. Just went up, I think, 18% in prices because so much money went over to Columbus, Ohio. If Detroit doesn't think money, you can go convince people in Israel. You can go convince people in a bunch of other countries. You can go convince people in New York and California to come dump billions of dollars into Detroit, propping up this city, which is a beautiful city. It has a lot of 1920s Art Deco that you'll never see ever again. And I'm not talking about that cheap, shitty crap you see in Miami. That's 1950s crap. I'm talking about 1920s with marble, with old, stone, like the top-notch stuff. This city was the New York of before New York was New York, right? It was equivalent to New York, right? It had the #1 economy, but it's a golden age era, and we're propping it up. Lots of bureaucracy, lots of red tape, propping it up. Now, again, Detroit only got 12 weeks of summer. Michigan got 12 good weeks of good weather, where you got to do all your repairs and all your stuff. Now, if that house had a leak, if that house had a plumbing problem, you know who she'd be calling? Us. And you know who the city would get on our backs for? Us, if we didn't fix it. And I'm praying every day some kind of something happens to that house, so I can be like, oh, it's gonna take me a long time to fix it. You're gonna have to just move out. Sorry, it's unlivable. So sorry. But I'm not no slumlord. But I want you to understand that when people sit here and go, these landlords complaining about nothing. You tell me where you can go get not paid for 2 years and keep showing up and keep doing good work and keep paying property taxes and keep doing the right thing. So 21 months times $850 at this point is $17,850. Property would have been paid off in another year if this tenant would have been paying the money, and all would have been 100% return. So a lot of people on this man's internet can talk smack about me, can say whatever they want about me, can do whatever they want. At the end of the day, I actually put my money where my mouth is. I'm not just running my yams on the internet forever. Okay. Now, you gonna say, well, Ericka, what about the other properties? Other properties, most people are paying. Most people apply for the rental assistance when we asked them to. They didn't have a problem with it. They did the right thing. They call us when they need something. We've replaced roofs. We replaced plumbing. We've cleaned out septics. We've done all kind of stuff. In general, is Detroit a great investment? When the numbers make sense. But it can't just be when numbers make sense. It also has to be when the city and the county make sense. So this is why you see people investing in parts of Kansas. You see them investing in Indiana. That's near Chicago, not just like, Indiana anywhere, but like Indiana that's close to the border. That's why you see investing in the Dakotas, and the rents are going up there. You see them investing in Idaho. You see them investing in Texas, because Texas is booting people out, because Texas never really closed. Y'all were going to work. So the lack of rent is on you, right? You see this in Alabama, Mississippi. You know what I mean? This is why these places are cutting off this stuff, because they've been wide open. They try to throw the monkey wrench on Texas and Florida, like we out here like cowboys. But Atlanta, everything in the Sun Belt was mostly open. They weren't really closed. So you're talking about crappy weather for the rest of the year. So let's say we get old girl out in August. Well, now I got to go check the house and see what needs to be repaired, what needs to be done. Then we're going to get another tenant in. And then, of course, Big Gretch is probably going to try to lock it down again in the winter. And the CDC just extended the eviction moratorium for July. But it shouldn't apply to this woman, because this woman has been there since October 2019 not paying. And if I have tenants from 2019 not paying, I can't imagine people with tenants in 2018 not paying and been just living this whole time, living their whole life. This is probably why you have a lot of fire arson in Detroit. I wouldn't do that, but I can see where people are doing it. I can see why there's all these fires that mysteriously happen out of nowhere, and they blame it on old wiring. I see why things happen to properties all of a sudden. And I think it's quite unfortunate. I don't know how they're going to run a city or a society where people don't have to keep up their obligations, because then I still have to keep my obligation to treat them well. We actually offered cash for keys, and old girl was like, I'm going to think about it. I kid you not, Ghost Noel. We were like, hey, we will meet. If you get all your stuff in a truck, here we are with cash money. We're going to watch you put it in the truck. And we're going to give you the monies right this moment as we change the locks and you pack the truck up. No, she ain't even thinking about it. Again, Joe Echols, let me go ahead and tell you something that's going to surprise you. 80% of people that are paying are in single family. It's the multifamilies that are tied with red tape. Trust me, I used to work in the apartment industry. We follow more guidelines with multifamily than anywhere else. I can tell you right now, as I talk to the property manager on my property that I'm currently living at, she said over 50% of people weren't paying. And you go, well, Ericka, so what? It's a 1,000-unit community, but it's a luxury apartment. 50% of people not paying on a new construction thing that I know for certain has construction loans on it, because the back wasn't finished for a whole month. Well, honestly, the back hasn't been finished for 6 months. So they're still building this complex and 50% of people ain't paying. Go look at the data. The data is showing you people in single family houses are paying, not multifamily. People in multifamily know they're in an apartment and there's enough red tape in apartments. Right now, if you're in the apartment industry in Texas, you can't even ask what you do is you go, hey, we're just calling to see when you're going to possibly pay your rent. Or are you applying for rental assistance? That's all you can say as an apartment manager. That's it. So again, when people sit here and try to be like, well, multifamily is better than single family. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. I know all the people that are in multifamily right now, because I used to work in the industry, and also I invest with an apartment investing group. Bulk of people pay their rent. And because of the moratorium, they know they got wiggle room, way more than a house, right? And I think because with a house, people move more people in. I also think with the house, people are more concerned about where they're going to go if they leave a house and they have all this stuff. So again, don't just quote Grant Cardone and think you're talking about something. I know because I'm in the industry and I'm in multiple states that each state is different. And each state is like, oh, we'll get you about. Detroit, Michigan has decided to be California. Listen, he said even strip clubs are open in Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, literally, at what point do you say, hey, man, we're going to offer you $1,000 for you to just go ahead and leave? And she says, no. What would I keep doing? Moving it up? $2,000, $3,000 to get her out? What makes common sense at this point? Lucretia Hall, yes. See, DJ Crime, we offered her. This has been an ongoing saga where we've continuously offered, hey, listen, we'll just give you some, and we'll get you out. And she literally replied that she will wait on the sheriff. This is a professional tenant, y'all. This is somebody who's going to spend their whole life doing this. And this is why people have to sue people and put stuff on their credit reports. Because if not, they just keep doing this to other people over and over again. And how do I know? When she went to go call another landlord in the area, it's because he had one of those red for rent signs where you think it's not a professional company that's going to call and check around. And we were like, oh, no, she's in our property. She ain't paying nothing. Oh, yeah, we're going to tell you. We're going to let you know, brother. So again, we've offered her cash for keys. And she's insisted that she will wait for the sheriff. Honey, Mr. E, if I could go move some doors, honey, if I knew real thugs in Detroit, listen, take everything off. We could, yeah, totally, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, she works at a hospital, y'all. This isn't a woman not making no money. This is a woman working at a hospital. And so this is, again, everything y'all telling me, I want to laugh, but I'm so serious. Like, where are the Italians? I would pay the Italians to go. It could be. Here's the thing. To break the American spirit, I thought it would be harder. But then when you really pull back the covers on the true entrepreneurs in our society, it's less than 11%. Like actual business owners on paper, it's like 11%. So when people talk about I'm middle class, you have a lot of people who are making good money in a job and they're comfortable, but they don't really own a lot. They maybe own their own home and that's it. And when people took that money, when people said, oh, you don't have to pay your mortgage, and then they go and read the fine print, the big print giveth, the fine print take it away. Oh, you're going to have to pay like 15% interest on this. You got to pay taxes on this. You got to pay all kind of, and I don't want to go this video off to the rails, but you're going to have to pay then some. And then people say, well, Ericka, just sell the house. You can. What you tell people is, hey, I'm selling the property. The new owner wants it vacant upon delivery. Well, that works, sure. But you still got to give because of, again, Michigan, a very heavy liberal state, Democratic state, lots of, tenant-friendly laws, which really comes out of, it started as protection. Now it starts as just bully, right? You got to give her 30 days so she knows before you sell the house. So she can properly have time to move. She's already told you she's not moving unless the sheriff's there. What makes you think she's going to move because you're selling it? And again, this is not my first time in Detroit being Detroit, where we've gone to closing and people have forged documents to say people have paid months and months of receipts that were all forged. The tenant, in another property said, hey, that ain't even my signature. I don't know what that is. I don't know what he doing. That ain't my business. And it was an uncle whose nephew was selling the property. Sound like he just want to get rid of uncle problems. You know what I'm saying? Then we had another property burnt. Same thing. Receipts all fake. I mean, these people are committing at this level. If you're going to provide fake receipts and fake documents at a legal title signing, you're committing bank and wire fraud, and they don't care. That is the level of what's going on in Detroit. And nobody makes a fuss about it because they're like, well, it's just business as usual. Even the superstar on HGTV, the blonde-haired lady that everybody's like, well, she should follow the rules. She did. She bought it from a wholesaler. She documented it. Then she worked on the property. And then the land bank tried to say, well, no, you didn't. They didn't own that house. We own it. The way y'all paperwork roll out in this state, who's to say? But if I put 60K in this house, I'll be damned if you're going to take this house from me. I'll light this bitch on fire for you take it from me. Lucky for her, she won. Now, common sense in my mind would say Detroit should be grateful that anybody's buying anything there and investing any amount of money. Period. They should be paying us. Like if I pay you $1 for that house, you should be grateful to give it to me because you're asking me to put $50,000 to $70,000 worth of work into them. Make it make sense, Detroit. I can build a whole brand new construction in parts of Texas for that. I could build a duplex brand new for 100 in Killeen, for 110 in Killeen, and you want me to put 100K in some of these properties in Detroit because y'all have 18% good rental market returns, like 8.5%? No, thank you. I did see Glennon's thing, but again, also I've documented this. I have 2 Kia Souls that are in a car rental, and they have a tracker on them that was installed very quickly by the boys over here who install stereo systems. You know, Glennon's been laughing at me with the truck, so whatever. Don't care. Didn't see a brother team club. Yeah. I really do. Listen, and I want to keep it open and honest here on this channel. I want it to be transparent, but we have to figure out something in America that makes sense for everybody. And we can't have Michigan and California going rogue because California now deciding, oh, we're going to back pay all these people, really, which is an IOU. They're not going to cut checks like that quick. There's no incentive to lower rent now, right? Because people don't understand how this hurts you more than it hurts the state of California. One, those taxes, all that money they're paying are going to be passed on to you. The funny thing, people come from California and go into southern states, go, y'all don't got no benefits. Y'all ain't got no benefits. No, you're stealing your neighbor's money for those benefits. You're stealing your neighbor's money so you can get free rides to dental appointments and all this other mess. And when they pay this rent, you're stealing your children's money now. California is irreparably broken. And people are like, what? But it's so beautiful in the weather and they make crops. And okay, we can make crops in almost every state. Every single state has crops. Every single state. Majority of our food is in the Midwest. There's a drought been going on for 6 years from California to Arizona to Phoenix. We have to figure out something else. And the thing about it is, I don't know. BK from the Rockies, y'all be so worried about dislikes. Come on. Like, who cares if somebody dislikes a video? You know why? Because it's engagement. What y'all don't realize is anytime y'all comment, y'all leave comments, y'all leave a like or a dislike, it's engagement to YouTube. YouTube pushes Kwame Brown and all these people who get thousands of dislikes every day. I don't give a ham about somebody coming, I'm going to just like this video. You still watching me, ain't you, though? You watching me, though. You watching my life, though. You watching the journey, though. But you hear every video to dislike the video. Why? Because you're a loser. That's why. You losing, I'm winning, and you don't like it. Okay, good luck, brother. Good luck, sister, whoever it is. Good luck with your life. Don't stress about the dislikes. You dig what I'm saying? Okay. She paying her light bill, y'all, on time. Her lights are paid on time. Listen, come on. I even had some Hispanic guys who fixed a property in Cleveland who are willing to drive to Detroit to fix properties. People are making money in this economy. Trust me. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Pro style. Kwame done got out. Kwame Kilpatrick done got out of prison, but I'm not trying to go. I'm trying to, get it together. Plenty of examples. Pookie and Ray Ray ain't beat up one police officer. They ain't beat up George Zimmerman. They ain't did nothing. But Pookie and Ray Ray will destroy your own community. If I could get somebody to steal the meter, I would, but she might even call the electric company and tell them somebody stole the meter. Honestly, because of the, people are like, well, you can flip properties, you can sell properties, you can do stuff. The numbers have to make sense. And there will always be $35,000 to $60,000 houses that you can rent for $850 to $1,000 in Detroit. You'll always have that. But you will also always have that in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, Hoover, Alabama, the suburbs of Alabama. You'll have that in northern Florida, but northern Florida is pretty expensive right now. You'll still have that in Augusta, Georgia. You'll still have that in parts of South Carolina. Again, y'all have to remember in our society, there's 17 million vacant homes out there. The reason we're having such a housing crisis is everybody's trying to live in 16 cities on the Forbes Boomtown list. That's it. Everybody trying to live in Atlanta. So everything that sprawls around that, price goes up. Everybody trying to live in Birmingham, so everything that sprawls around that goes up. Everybody's trying to live in Dallas, so everything around that sprawls up. There's really only 16 big cities that people move to. When I ask people about, I think Aaron Clary's from like the Twin Cities, and he moved to South Dakotas, and they're like, yeah, the South Dakotas have a bunch of people moving there in Montana. Who's moving to Montana? People that was watching Yellowstone that live in California and gonna take their money and go out there. That's it. And can afford to get on planes and keep going back and forth. Movie stars move there. Right now in Austin, all the houses on the water, a bunch of movie stars are moving here. That's why I can get my house on the water. But you have to understand that, like, people are trying to live in 16 cities. That's the reason why we have these housing prices. But also, it's also the cost of if I go further out and I have to go repair a house that's been in the middle of nowhere going rotten into the ground, that's going to cost me money too. Terry, listen, NC grad, are you from Detroit? I mean, this is like, when I tell people this story, they act like, and what's the problem? When I was doing house tours with Asia, there was a house across the street where the door was kicked in. I said, well, we should call the police. We should get that door closed. She's like, mind your business. That's not our business. Let's just go look at this house and go on about our day. What? To me, I'm like, safety, 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 safety. I cannot. Self-made, you must have came in late on the video again. I know some people are coming in late. We've been 30 minutes into the video. Again, this started in October 2019. Took her to court in December 2019. Agreed to kick her out. She said she's at work. She couldn't make it. The laws are like, well, she was at work. So again, we take her back. Again, court so backed up 2 months later, February 2020. Okay, we're going to put her out. You have to wait for the sheriff, though. Oh, March comes around. We still waiting for the sheriff. Oh, there's a thing called COVID out here. It's hitting us real bad. We can't do nothing. We ain't going to nobody's house. Nobody's getting kicked out. So then from March to August 2020, by the time you get to 2020, you're talking about 11 months of no rent. They're offering rental assistance. She don't want it. She won't take it. She won't apply for it. By the time we get to December after Trump's out, we had 15 months. That's 12 grand that we're owed. And we finally get the offer for rental assistance of $4,700 if we don't sue her. So all this stuff is you can't sue them. You dig what I'm saying? Listen, again. Thank you, Brown. I appreciate you. Sexy Daniel says she can't afford to live in California. I'm just telling you, Yellowstone is the show, man. All those things you're talking about are good. Yeah, everything y'all are saying. I mean, again, I'm just telling you. Chicken in a milk bond. Ugh, that sounds terrible. Listen, Detroit is where the scammers start and Atlanta's where they end. She from Detroit. She said that, y'all. I can't even. The houses have good structure, but again, a lot of abandoned houses, a lot of stuff. Y'all got a lot of comments in here. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about here. If you look, exactly. Let me go over here. Let me show y'all real quick. I'm gonna show y'all. And there's 250 people, 55 people in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Again, the coupon code I think right now is 60% off if you use the word summer. feel free to use it. All right. So again, this is the Detroit neighborhoods we've been talking about. Again, all these areas, right? That they keep talking about. Now you can go in here and look for everywhere. Quora. Why isn't everybody buying in Detroit? Okay, right? You can go in here. Roofstock. Talk about how look at all this money they put in Detroit. Look at all this money they put in there. Per capital income is 35,000. Okay. The median age in Detroit is 39,000. 38% of the population is between ages 20 to 49. Why is this important? You just have a lot of old people, I feel like, in my opinion, still left in Detroit. They ain't going to leave. They've been there since the 70s. They'll watch it burn all the way to the ground. They're not going to leave. I remember going to Detroit and my Uber driver was like, we didn't realize. We thought it was going to be dead. We thought this city was never going to come back. He was like, I feel guilty because we all moved to the suburbs. It wasn't a race thing. We just all moved to the suburbs. And he was white. And I really wanted to be like, sir, nobody can predict what was going to happen to Detroit. Nobody. Should have, but nobody. Again, so they have these really beautiful stats about employment growth and all this other stuff. But here's my, the key industry, of course, is automotive and mobility, defense, healthcare, information technology, transportation, distribution, and logistics. All right. The largest employers of the region are Ford Motor Company, General Motors, Ally Financial, University of Michigan, Baymont Health, and Quicken Loans. All right. 91% of the residents of Detroit are high school graduates or higher. 32% hold a bachelor's degree. Right. Vertical on Detroit. Again, lots of people write about this. A lot of people talk about, it's cheap to get in. Again, they call it proactive government. Proactive government is important tenant quality. That's the nice way of saying shitty tenants. 5 reasons you should invest in Detroit. Now, listen, I'm going to say this, and I mean this in the nicest way. If you go to other parts outside of Detroit, the Muslim population is like 80%. Who owns all the gas stations? Muslim population. Who's buying up all the real estate they can buy? Muslim population. Right? At the end of the day, if you always going to be a renter, you're never going to own anything, somebody going to take that check. I'll put it like that. Why you should invest in Detroit? Somebody said it's symbolic. Oh, it went away. Oh, no. Well, I was going to read that to you. But basically, they had this thing, well, it's symbolic of United States. Don't give up on Detroit. Anyway, so again, talks about revitalization. Can you make money in Detroit? Yes. All the properties appraisal-wise have gone up. But what is appraisal if you can't get people to pay that? Again, oh, look at this. Y'all gonna make me mad. I'm not paying for no subscription. Anyway, go check out as many articles as you can. You don't have to take my word on it. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. I'm just telling you my experience about Detroit. And honestly, from this point forward, my whole strategy of buying 100 units in my future over the next 3 years, this put a monkey wrench in it. That in 2020, right? I'm looking for new land and build out duplexes in Texas now. I look to buy some more duplexes in Cleveland. I am looking to invest in parts of Indiana. I'm looking to purchase from certain Inglewood, Chicago, whatever you want to call it, but mostly Inglewood. Why? Because of appreciation prices, right? Somebody showed me a 35. It was really like 45,000 property in Inglewood. Yeah, you'd have had to put 100 into it, like you would Detroit, but your evaluation of that property is going to be like 285 to 320. You ain't never gonna get that in Detroit. Never. Right? You never get that, right? You just won't. And so I can cash out refinance. If I get 2 properties, let's just do the math here. I do 2 properties in Inglewood from this particular wholesaler, both for 35, right? We put 100 into both of them, which we would have had to put almost that much money in some Detroit properties. So now we're out, what, 270, right? Because people are like, man, that's put 270 there. Okay. And those 2 properties, we get them both refinanced out for 80%. Let's say both evaluate for 320. And depending on the areas, depending on the streets, it depends on a lot of things. But let's say they both evaluate for 320 times 2. That's 640. 640 times 80%. That's $512,000. $500,000 off of fixing 2 properties in cash out refi. And trust me, we had Kareem. If you're in the Route 20% class, mastermind, you saw Kareem talk about they doing cash out refi like everybody else right now, like normal schedule. So for less headache, less drama, and a city that's moving, still moving, even though it's Chicago has its own issues. Much better. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. I see all y'all comments. I'm telling you, like, you can try to get people out. You really can. Section 8, what the problem with Section 8 is they started capping it. Even we got lucky with our Cleveland tenant. The Section 8 was like, nah, we ain't going to check on this property for 90 days. And the woman needed to move right then. Another department in other side of Cleveland, outside of Cleveland actually, was going to approve her for $695 right then. Like, come inspect it. But when they came inspect it, I mean, it just was crazy. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, this little crack here, this little crack there, this little here, there, this little here, there. And you're like, government, I get it. Y'all trying to protect people from moving into bad housing, but that just ain't it. Debbie, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Well, then she might be able to sue me for emotional distress. I mean, it's really crazy. It's really just, listen, Detroit is really like that. Burn down vacant house right next to a family floor living happily. Like they in a twilight zone. Like, what? There's a broken house over there? That stuff blew my mind the whole time I was there. People act like, well, whatever. To me, that's why we had friends, parents who moved to Texas, and they were like, they were in a part of Florida that was doing bad, right? And they were saying how they couldn't stand going to the grocery store. Everybody looked depressed all the time. To me, when I'm in Detroit and I'm driving around, I'm like, this don't depress you? With it looking like a damn war zone out here? I can't remember, but she's not like she's not a janitor, that's for sure. Colorado's been going up for years. That's nothing new. That's about 10 years. I hate Gary, Indiana. Everybody keeps trying to sell people on this Gary, Indiana thing. And I get it. I know y'all want to have the hope. I've looked at too much data. It ain't there. It ain't there. And I know some black YouTubers will be like, Ericka, don't you talk bad about that. Okay. I'm just telling you, it's just not there. And the numbers and the everything. Like, it ain't there. Like, have you been to Gary, Indiana? I've been there twice, one as a kid and one as an adult, to go, what are y'all making this fuss about? No, that's the thing, Sarah. It didn't matter. Detroit had made it like an extra rule. Like, it didn't matter how much she made. She just had to be the person to apply, because they were trying to prevent landlords from lying and saying tenants weren't paying, and then the government starts paying people, come to find out the tenant paid. So they were trying to enforce the tenant apply so that the government would make sure people weren't, fudging paperwork, which it made sense in theory to prevent fraud, but it didn't. It didn't help, because the tenants could go, well, I don't want to apply. I don't want to do it. You will never get that. I mean, never. I mean, I literally, y'all think, I know it looks like all I do is hang out and joke and hang out and stuff. But I literally daily spend hours on the phone with people in different markets, in different places, and like, okay, how can we recruit this money? How can we make tenants money back? How can we make some of the trucking money back? How can we do these different things to kind of bring money back? And that's why when I talk to you guys about credit and about housing, I try to do it from a very transparent perspective of like, there are men that I know who invest or flip like 2-3 houses a year. That's it. And live a really good life, because again, I just showed you those Inglewood numbers. All they got to do is pull out cash out refi and make sure the tenants in there at least trying to keep up the rent to some degree, or save some of that cash refi money off to the side so they can pay the bill as long as there's no problems. And again, I'll document some of this. You guys will see more of this in I think January through March, but if you're lucky, you'll see a lot of it August, September, October, right where we beat the snow. We're going to be trying to beat the snow, honestly. Michigan is bad, y'all. Michigan's bad. Y'all tried to go kidnap your governor. You had some hillbillies go try to zoom upon her house and kidnap her. So y'all can say other parts of Michigan is better, but Y'all got some issues up there. Never. Rod, you can get for the numbers are better in Detroit. If you want me to be honest, like I've been to Gary enough and I've seen enough wholesalers send me stuff where it's just vacant streets for streets on streets and on streets. I can get half vacant streets in Detroit and Cleveland, price point wise, more tenant opportunities. I know everybody's trying to sell y'all on Gary. I get it. It's like a community push. But I would recommend going to visit it like in person. It's crazy, right? You might as well buy a property in Mexico, right? It's just like it's the most frustrating thing because when you're providing documents to banks trying to get working capital loans or trying to get business loans, they're like, well, some of your portfolio ain't doing nothing. This girl ain't paid for 20 months. It makes you look bad as a portfolio holder. And that's what's really frustrating. Goddess Noel, go visit it for yourself, baby. I mean, if you drive from Detroit to Cleveland, it is one of those like, oh my God. It's one of the things because you can see where the factory's closed. Like when I drove from Detroit down to North Carolina and I had to drive through some parts of Ohio, I was like, where are my pew pew pew? Where the pew pew pew? This is white people, okay? And I was asking a friend, I was gonna stop by and see their property. He was like, nah, don't come through there. That's meth land. I'm like, meth land? So again, people can sell y'all anything on the internet. I want y'all to physically go fly to some of these places and drive your car around it and go check it out. Listen, Floyd, I mean, I'm trying to tell them, I'm trying to warn them. We went one time, we drove our car my mom and dad had custody arrangement where we had to meet my dad that summer in Chicago. It just was what it was. So my mom drove because she really couldn't afford a flight. She drove us all up from North Carolina and we stopped in Gary and Ann as kids. And we stopped and our grandparents and my father were like, oh my God, God, park near a church. Don't move. We're coming. We're going to drive down and rescue you. I mean, they scared the crap out of my poor mother. Like, she just literally was like, you guys are enforcing this ridiculous custody this way. You could have just came to North Carolina and picked the girls up. You know what I mean? So, again, like, my two thoughts of Gary was one, being terrified as a kid, and two, as an adult, actually going to see it and be like, oh, this is not that great. Tell it what it is. Gary is like that. Burned out homes, dilapidated. Come on now. Smokehouse. Tell them they think I'm making this up. I'm really not. No, you would not. Okay, so Roderick, I don't know what you think I'm trying to do. No, what I would do is if I purchase in Inglewood and we put $100K in it, we're gonna put tenants in it, and we're gonna cash out refi. The long term plan is have the tenants in there. The cash out refi is just to use the money to move on to the next project or pay off debt or do whatever you have to do. People don't realize like that's a whole, like, you will meet, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I am. You will meet white guys who that's all they do. They'll flip 2 houses a year. If they got to do the construction themselves, they'll do it. I've met black men out of Chicago who flip 1 or 2 houses a year and just so they can do the cash out refi. Trust. It's at some price points for the houses, it becomes about what is that house evaluated as? What's the price? Okay, we'll work with that. Because you can get cheap properties in St. Louis, you can get cheap properties in all over the Midwest. The key here is realizing you only gonna get about $850 rent, $850, $750 to $1,000 in rent, like forever. Never gonna be more than that. You can go buy cheap properties in Augusta, you're gonna get $850 rent. You can go buy cheap properties an hour outside Atlanta, so you can get cheap rent. You can go buy properties, an hour outside of Charleston, North South Carolina. An hour outside of Raleigh and Durham and Raleigh and middle of nowhere. But you always gonna get $750 to $1,000 rent. You're not really gonna get a high number of rent, and depending on the area, you're not gonna get the appreciation. With Chicago, you'll get the appreciation. With Texas, you'll get the appreciation. With Florida, you'll get the appreciation. Oh, I'm sorry, Rod. I wasn't trying to insult your family at all. I'm just saying, got family there. Most moved out to a better area. Yeah, I mean, I just think that they haven't made a, like, they keep talking about new things coming to Gary, just the same way they've talked about Detroit for 20 plus years. And it's like, to me, what was done to Detroit, and I'm not trying to be funny, was a combination of the unions and factories going, yeah, I'll just move it to Texas. Because see, what people don't realize is Dallas, Texas has a ton of factories. Like, manufacturing's huge in Dallas, Texas. It's something not really talked about because everybody talks about how everybody's, white collar and fake rich. And that's because they're fake rich because a lot of them work in manufacturing and construction. A bunch of the factories went down to Texas. And so to me, I saw two states and two cities be kind of economically destroyed from the inside out, just completely ripping the engine out of them. Woo! She said Gary is ghetto. Well, thank you, Marcus. You know what, Marcus? If you want to do the show a big, big favor, hop on a calendar and do a testimonial for that. That would help me and help the channel out, and also encourage my Tech Tuesday folks to come on the channel. A lot of times they're nervous about coming and whatnot. So again, here for Marcus or anybody who wants to leave a testimonial for the channel, it's right there in the chat. Mark Pruer, we work with, there's like thousands of lenders right now. You could work with Kareem Baldwin. We've brought him on the channel. Augusta, I have set up several contacts in Augusta, but it's fast moving like anywhere else. Oh, there's a ton. Like, China bought up a ton of Texas, Russia, all kind of people. There's like in Sweden, I think when the property we have in Cleveland, we got it because a person let go of, they have 120 properties and they're from Sweden. They're not even from Cleveland. So yeah, that's what I agree. Oh, they've been doing that for 20 years now. They've been doing that. There is a famous YouTuber, and she left California and went to North Carolina. So, and she went to Raleigh. She didn't even go to Charlotte. Everybody goes, the snow lasts too long. No, listen, if you only have 12 days of summer and the rest of your year is mush and cold and snow and wind, it's a terrible it's terrible. You can't like sweaters enough for that. I can never like sweaters. People like a hurricane, and I'd rather have a hurricane every year. Jay Stokes, I think they have hopes, and people want to move back to where their family's from too. Mark, I'd recommend going to Kareem Baldwin, going on biggerpockets.com, go on the forums. They have tons of lending people. Hard Money Kelly, there's all kind of people. Depends on what state you're in, all kind of stuff. But yeah, go ahead and put that there. Give us a call. Anyway, that's what I had for you guys today. It's on an hour. That's what I had. We have a tenant, 20 months. Not paying. Not paying, y'all. And so I'll give y'all an update again in probably about 90 days from now to see if she's actually gotten out of the property. I have a lot of plans for August, September, and October. A lot of construction jobs will be finished up after my tour or during my tour. And I'll document a lot of that for you guys. I mean, I won't probably be doing as many lives while I'm on tour, but I'll definitely have our cameraman kind of telling y'all, hey, this is what we're doing. And when I fly to Detroit, because they really only have 12 weeks of summer. And so you got to get everything you want done to your property right in those 12 weeks. Y'all will see that. and you will see the Inglewood properties I'm talking about. Worked really hard to connect with some wholesalers and construction guys in those parts of Chicago. You guys also know my grandpa is liquidating a lot of his properties out of there. So it's a combination of effect of a lot of things. So guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for your patience. And I'm going to go to the movies and relax. That's what I'm going to do because this has been a crazy day. So this is your girl, Ericka, Classy Climb Blog. Again, if you want any of our courses right now, you can use the code SUMMER for 60% off. Literally use the code word SUMMER for 60% off. Enjoy.